another statement that's come from China, and just look at the statements that are coming from the Foreign Office, from the Defense Ministry, from various embassies across the world. This is again an official Chinese government statement that says US is making themselves an enemy of the 1.4 billion Chinese people. Will not end up well. Act like a bully in front of the whole world. Will only make everyone see that the US is the biggest danger to world peace. That's another statement that's just been released by China. And let's try and make sense of this. GEETA, multiple statements from the Foreign Office, from the Defense Ministry, from an Eastern Command that says prepare for war, from these wolf warriors or so-called wolf warriors in various embassies, and now another statement that says US is making themselves an enemy of 1.4 billion Chinese people. So all bluff and bluster because they can do nothing on ground?
Well, again, too early to say, Gaurav. We'll have to wait and see what really happens. See, we did this when the Russia-Ukraine war was not happening, and there was a lot of to and fro in terms of conversations, and nobody thought Russia would actually take the actions that it did. In this context, there are a few red lines. We know that the statement today morning by President Biden on Zawahiri and announcing, confirming that Zawahiri was killed while the action had taken place in the intervening night of July 30th and 31st. Many say could be maybe diversionary tactic by the United States of America. Also, they needed time to confirm Ayman al-Zawahiri's identity. But the fact is that there are red lines that China will not get diverted from. Taiwan is a red line. Taiwan is a very important issue for the Chinese administration and for Xi Jinping. So while there could be a lot of bluff and bluster when it comes to China, on various counts, on Taiwan, I would really take the Chinese seriously. On some counts as to what they're going to do, we again have to wait and see. It might not be absolute military action that would escalate into even limited conflict, but I certainly think that there is going to be some economic price to pay. And the bigger question then would be, was Nancy Pelosi's visit, was an American visit at such a high level really worth it at this point in time, at this juncture? Because she will not be delivering on policies. She is not going to make any important policy announcements, nor any important deliverables. So is it worth it? Even if it is economic costs.
Stay with me, GEETA. General, how do you look at this? China's yet another statement slamming US, saying you're making 1.4 billion people an enemy.
Gaurav, China can say what it wants to say, threat, intimidation, exercises, all kinds of statements, but China knows it can do nothing at this point of time to the United States. Internationally, China is isolated. It knows after Ukraine where it stands. It knows what has happened after COVID-19. It knows its own standing in the world today. Economically, it is shattered inside. Xi Jinping's own standing is a threat. So, seeing all this, China wouldn't want to do anything that further isolates China in the world community. So all this bluff will carry on, threat, intimidation, exercises will carry on. In any case, Nancy Pelosi was a messaging to China that we stand with Taiwan. You want to do what you want to do, let us see what you can do about it. So it's very, very clear. I think the Chinese are isolated. They know for sure that they are all just 1.4 billion. Very clear that China alone feels that yes, they are, the US is its enemy. It isn't like that. Chinese know for sure that at this point of time, China can do nothing. Absolutely
very interesting
nothing.
Developments that are taking place in the world right now. A conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and the situation that's developing between Taiwan and China, and of course, US Congress Speaker, House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan. What are the ramifications? What do these exercises mean?